IT teams of financial companies are having unique challenges in their pursuit towards digitization, multi-cloud, and automation of their network. In this design zone video, we will show how Alkira simplifies cloud area networking for financial industry. Hello, this is Hasham Malik from Alkira's product team, and joining me is Dipesh. Hi, Dipesh.
Hey Asham, hi everyone. My name is Deepesh Kumar. I'm a solutions architect here at Alkira.
A lot of customers have adapted Alkira because Alkira is agentless. There is no waiting for hardware, running into supply chain issues. It is born in cloud and ready to use anytime. Alkira also provides third-party security and services integration as a service with minimal effort within Alkira platform. And most of all, it is a managed service that abstracts the complexity and simplifies cloud area networking like no one else. The innovation that Alkira brings has also helped several financial institutions. Dipesh, you recently posted a blog on alkira.com where you mentioned the challenges that are faced by financial institutions today. Could you please talk about those challenges?
Sure, absolutely. So, financial institutions are comprised of banking institutions, trading companies, wealth management companies, or asset management companies. So, because of the nature of the work that they handle, they have to think about data integrity and security posture when they are kind of looking at maintaining or kind of moving to the public cloud. And because of the nature of the work that they do, they are kind of also under regulatory scrutiny. And working with new vendors, they have to kind of think about how do they maintain this security posture in the cloud environment.
Dipesh, these challenges are common or similar to the challenges faced by any company that is in cloud, or they have ongoing journey towards digitization to cloud, right? I'm sure all our viewers who are watching this, they can relate to these challenges.
Yeah. So some of these challenges are common across other industries as well. For example, mergers and acquisition is a common use case in the sense that other institutions or other industries also do mergers and acquisitions for increasing revenue streams or providing new use cases to their customers. Now, with mergers and acquisitions, customers face new challenges. For example, how do you maintain the uh, new merged network infrastructure? How do you handle the security posture of this new network infrastructure? And then kind of how do you look into visibility and monitoring for this as well? And then when you look at public cloud or deployments in the public cloud, you have let's say you have two companies who are merged or one company has been acquired, then these two companies have to think about how do they where do their workloads exist, in what public cloud do they exist, and then how do they provide connectivity or how do they integrate for these applications which sit in different public clouds.
And these challenges are important to address, especially in post-COVID time, where we're still dealing with the supply chain issues. And the time to market is very critical with multi-cloud ability, right? So Dipesh, how is Alkira resolving these challenges?
Yeah, that's a great question, Nisham. So when customers look at Alkira, they can look at different methods of onboarding their infrastructure from looking at it from the on-premise side. So if they have, let's say, they want to leverage private connectivity options, for example, AWS Direct Connect or Azure Express Route, they can use those. If they have like a SD-WAN deployment for connecting their branches and data centers, they can extend that SD-WAN connectivity into the cloud using Alkira. If they have, let's say, IPsec endpoints, they can connect those as well. Now, if you look at the cloud side, if they have workloads which exist in a single cloud, or if they have workloads which exist in multiple clouds, they can onboard all those VPCs or VNets onto the Alkira Cloud Exchange Point. And thus, they can achieve end-to-end connectivity from on-prem to cloud or multi-cloud using the Alkira CXP. And then, this kind of also provides them seamless, kind of high bandwidth multi-cloud connectivity for their applications.
So if I want to understand and break down what you just said, basically my journey to cloud using Alkira, which will be basically a managed tenant in Alkira service in the cloud environment. There is no hardware. Customer just need the URL for their Alkira portal tenant and a web browser to set up connectivity for their on-sites, remote users, onboard their cloud environments from different cloud. Right, it's as simple as that. But can customer use same tenant to provide connectivity to their partners to certain applications? Or you also mentioned one important use case for financial industries is mergers and acquisitions. Can they use the same Alkira infrastructure for this use case as well?
Yeah, absolutely, they can. So if financial companies, or if these companies have partners or multiple partners for who they want to provide connectivity to certain shared resources or certain applications, they can leverage the same Alkira CXP. We do offer segmentation and micro segmentation capabilities. So if they want to isolate these networks when providing communication, or when extending or providing communication to these workloads, they can do so using the Alkira CXP.
Okay, but when we talk about mergers and acquisitions, the overlapping IP addresses is a common issue. Even I've seen some in some customers that they're using same CIDR blocks in multiple VPCs and VNATs, which becomes very challenging if those resources with duplicate IP addresses, they need to talk to each other, right? Because we know doing NAD in native cloud is pretty complex.
Yeah, absolutely. So overlapping IP addresses is a common problem when you're looking at public cloud. So we do offer advanced NAT capabilities for the customers to leverage if they have this challenge. So if they have multiple partners, or they have this mergers and acquisition case where the acquired company or the merged company are using or leveraging the same IP address schemes, they can use these advanced NAT capabilities to achieve seamless communication end to end. And then again, as I mentioned earlier, we do offer segmentation and micro segmentation capabilities. So if they want to isolate these networks, that can be done as well.
So we have on-prem and cloud connectivity with segmentation, along with the NAT capabilities within Alkira CXP. But a few minutes ago, you also mentioned compliance and security are big use cases for financial companies, right? How having security posture in Alkira is different from having it in a native cloud?
Yeah, so when customers look at deploying, for example, firewalls in native public cloud, they have to think about certain things. Like, for example, they have to think about how do they handle routing for different interfaces of that firewall. They have to think about, let's say, depending on the type of traffic flow, they will need to have a NAT configuration. They will need to configure the routing correctly to make sure traffic is correctly handled. And then in addition, they also have to think about, how do they handle native, and depending on the CSP that they are deploying the firewalls in, they have to think about how the networking constructs are handled. With Alkira, those complexities are removed because the firewalls are deployed within the Alkira infrastructure, and routing is handled in an automated fashion. And in addition, there are some other advantages as well that we offer. For example, lifecycle management of the firewall. So obviously creation and deletion of the firewall, and then Alkira also offers the capability to configure the security zones for the firewall. So if in case now the customer wants to deploy these security policies leveraging these security zones, they can do that as well. We offer the capability to do auto scaling, which is an important requirement for customers where they want to scale up and down depending on their bandwidth or throughput requirements. We integrate seamlessly with firewall management systems, for example, Palo Alto Panorama. So in case customers are leveraging those, they can then seamlessly integrate with the Alkira APIs to do the automation for configurations. And then last but not least, we offer visibility into traffic which is hitting these firewalls. So real-time visualization of traffic which is hitting these firewalls, we do offer that on our dashboards as well.
Okay, so Alkira offers basically full stack of the security in a multi-layer fashion, right? So there are Alkira policies that customers can use to control, permit, block the traffic flows from whether they are from on-prem to cloud, cloud to cloud, or even in some use case we have seen with customers that they have flows from cloud to on-prem, right? So Alkira has the capability to permit and block those clouds using Alkira policies, as well as we can redirect the traffic using Alkira policies if there are use cases for traffic inspection and customers want to use third-party firewalls, vendors to have deep packet inspections there, right? And in addition, Alkira policies can be used to control which traffic can use internet through Alkira CXP.
Yes. So if customers have a use case where they want to have communication from, let's say, a VPC towards outbound towards the internet for, let's say, updates or anything, they can do so using the internet connectivity option that we have. And if they want to inspect this traffic through the firewall, then they can leverage a traffic policy where they say that this traffic gets redirected through the firewall and gets inspected.
I think that gives me a complete end-to-end picture. Connect on-prem DCs, sites, onboard my cloud VPCs, VNets, and other cloud workloads, and have optimized multi-purpose security posture for multi-cloud infrastructure. But I think common question that comes up is, how does that affect latency, which is very critical for financial customers, as well as other industries?
Yeah, that's a great question, Hasham. So latency, as you rightly said, is a very common question that comes from financial customers. So our latency, or I mean, if you look at that latency question, our latency is no different than any native public cloud. So when customers are looking at deploying or leveraging Alkira, they can look at deploying the CXPs depending on where their workloads exist or their users are. So depending on those factors, they can deploy the CXPs in the specific regions. And let's say, for example, they have workloads which sit in US East, and they have users which are coming and connecting from Asia Pacific. They can leverage the Alkira cloud backbone to build this end-to-end connectivity from these users to the application. And in that way, their latency requirements are handled.
So we can deploy Alkira CXP in multiple regions. They can be deployed closer to sites and users, right? And this should also help with the redundancy and high availability strategy of the customers.
Yeah, absolutely. So Alkira infrastructure is deployed in a highly redundant fashion. So the Alkira infrastructure is deployed across availability zones. So in case there is availability zone failure, we can handle that seamlessly. Now, if in case the customer requires a regional failure capability, they can leverage our disaster recovery feature where they can choose a backup region. So in case that the region where they have deployed the workloads has a failure or has issues in terms of connectivity, then they can choose the backup region where their workloads will be onboarded and then kind of build connectivity to those.
That's great, Dipesh. So to summarize, Alkira abstracts the complexity of cloud area networking for customers and provides the connectivity from on-prem data centers, sites, and users to connect, as well as easy onboarding of cloud resources with security as a service in CXP, right? And using Alkira Cloud Backbone, customers have multi-region, multi-cloud, hyperscale, redundant, highly available infrastructure. Well, this has been a fun discussion. Dipesh, thank you for joining me.
Sure, thanks for having me, Sham. It was a great conversation.
If you would like to know more about how Alkira can help you and your company, please request a demo from alkira.com.